Hello everyone and welcome to episode 7 of StoneBlocks. How are you doing? So I had a very miserable day because in between episodes I was supposed to make the CPUs, the molecular assemblers, as well as our machine room and put in the recipes because it was a grind and I didn't want to bore you to death. So I finished everything, I upgraded everything, I made the patterns and I switched to extra cells, and when I was storing items inside them, the game crashed. I couldn't log back in, so I had to load a backup. The backup was from the time before I finished the last episode, so I had to build everything all over again. So I don't remember how everything was, but this is it now, and I'm happy with it. This time I made my own backup, and hopefully if something crashes, we should be fine. The grindiest part of applied energistics is over and we have auto crafting. I already put most of the recipes that we're going to need. That was embarrassing. So they're here. I start from the bottom because, well, it's easier. So these are all the recipes and we have a lot of stuff to do. Let's get started. The first thing that I want to do this episode is to sort out our power issue. Our generators are good, but they're not the best. The worst part of it is that whenever I go there, I get wither effects. So yeah, that's a challenge. I want to use solar panels, but we are also going to need a method of storing that power. We have different ways like the Draconic Energy Core, we can make capacitors from Ender IO, but in this pack we have mechanism. So I thought we should make the induction matrix from mechanism, obviously. The other problem with this is that it's going to need lithium dust. Lithium dust comes from lithium, and lithium comes from liquid lithium, which comes from a thermal evaporation plant from brine, and brine comes from another thermal evaporation plant from water. Yeah, so we have to go to the mining dimension, start making solar evaporation towers or whatever they're called, and start making lithium. I'll be right back. So something fun, you cannot put a bed in the mining dimension. I did not know that. In order to make brine, you're going to need a thermal evaporation plant, and it's a multi-block structure using these thermal evaporation blocks. So it could be a maximum of 18 blocks high, and it could be only 2 by 2, and the inside will be hollow. So we already have 1, 2, and we go 16 more blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When it is 18 blocks high, you're going to need to put solar panels on the corners. So like this, this, and this. You're also going to need a controller and 2 valves. We're going to need 2 towers, so I made 2 valves. For brine, we're going to need 1 here in order to input water, and we're going to need 1 here because we need to extract the brine. So this one is complete, we just have to provide it with water. So I brought an ultimate mechanical pipe, and if we hook it up, we provide it with water through a pump from mechanism itself. This should give me brine. Yes. Of course, these thermal evaporation plants work better in the desert, but I don't have an option, so that's going to do. I think it's a decent rate, it's not that bad. Okay, so I made the other tower, and I'm guessing brine is a liquid right now, so we should be able to extract it like this. Yes. And you go to push. Good. So are you giving me lithium? Cool, we're getting lithium. That is good. So I also brought a rotary condensator, and if we hook it up to you, and of course you're wrong. You're this way? Cool. So the liquid lithium goes into here, and if we provide this with power, this should give us... It had power. Oh, I have a wireless charger in the base, so this got a little bit of power. So this gives us lithium, and now we have to hook it up to a chemical crystallizer in order to get lithium. And I think this one should be a gas. So will you work like this? Oh, it does. Okay, we're already getting lithium. That's good. Yep, 1 lithium dust. So I just have to hook everything up to power and I'll be right back. Okay, so I upgraded the rotary condensator and the chemical crystallizer. Our lithium goes into an ender chest and inside our ME system. It's not super fast because this is not the correct biome, and these thermal evaporation towers, they should be hot. They're not that hot. So our production of lithium is slow because our production of brine is very slow. There's not much I can do unless I start making heating elements, but I think this will do. It's not an insane rate, but we have time. Alright guys, I put everything on auto crafting and now we have access to ultimate induction cells and ultimate induction providers in order to make this room, in order to make the induction matrix. So it's a multi-block structure and making it is not very difficult. This is the smallest size that you can make using induction casings. You need to have at least one induction, induction cell and one induction provider. So this is the minimum size. You cannot make it smaller than this, but you can go to a maximum of 18 by 18 by 18, which will hold more RF than a tier 7 draconic evolution energy core. So it's actually quite nice. You need 2 induction ports. One of them will be input and the other one will be output, but you have to wrench it, otherwise it will not work. The induction provider will determine how much RF will go inside or be extracted from the power bank that we're going to have. So this is the traffic and this is the capacity. You can put as much as you want inside the multi-block structure that you're going to make, but this one had space for 2, so I only put 2. If you put the casings back, the multi-block structure will form and my particles are off, but you should get red particles. Now, if we right click on this, it will tell us that it can hold 240 giga RF, which I think should be billion RF, and the input and output is 13 million RF. And this is the smallest one. So imagine this. And this is the one that I'm making. It's not super massive, it's like 3 by 3 by 7, I believe. And this is the output, which I have a quantum entangler porter. The input is down there, which there is another quantum entangler porter hooked up to our generators at the moment. But if we fill this in, we will see how much power this can hold. And this thing holds 1.4 trillion RF. This small thing. And it's not even full yet, look. It's just one layer. I love this. And of course there's no point of storing RF if you cannot produce enough RF. So I'm going to use these solar panels and I want 49 of them. We have 38. We need more emeralds. So this is our 7x7 of solar panels. Each one of them will make around 32,000 RF. So in total, 49 of them will make 1.5 million RF if there are no clouds and if it's daytime. This should be enough power for, I think, the end of the series. We won't need to make more power, I guess. Yes, during daytime we're producing 1.7 million RF. That is great. We're not going to use it that much, but it's good to know that we have this, because I'm thinking of making a dragon dimension in order to get enough hearts in order to make awakened draconium. I'm not sure if I want to do that, but it's nice to have a power reserve. Now that our power issues have been resolved, let's get back to the main task at hand, which is making the infinity catalyst. So, we need to make all of these singularities, 13 of them, and also a bunch of other stuff like the cosmic meatballs and the ultimate stew, which is complicated, but it's not going to be that difficult. There is a good news and there's a bad news. The good news is we only need to make one, because Infinity Catalyst does have an EMC. So if we make one, we can copy it and then we are free. The bad news is this one. The Flux Electrum block, which we're going to need 24,750 of them, does not have an EMC value. So if we want to, for instance, make the redstone singularity, we can just EMC this and life will be good. But for the Flux one, we need to make 25,000 blocks. I think we should go through mystical agriculture because that's a process that we can speed up. Otherwise, I don't know what to do. I don't know if it's something that they missed or I have no idea. So this is the problem. Let's start solving it. Making this thing is a pain. So I'm going to make a few stacks in order to make the seeds, but automating this will be a problem because we need a lot of destabilized redstone and the magma crucibles are very slow. Unless I make a world out of destabilized redstone, but that's too much work. I think agriculture will be easier. Okay, so I came to our Botania area. This was supposed to be our Botania area, but it was never finished and it's empty right now, but it will be here one day. I hollowed out two 13 by 13 rooms for an Ender IO farming station with a double layer capacitor, which will give me an area of 11 by 11 for farming and a pathway around it, which I can also make decorations and make this place look nice because I'm bored in this cave. One of them will be for draconium and the other one will be for electrum infused ingots. I hope they will be enough, I'm not sure. I put the recipe on auto crafting and I think we have enough material to make 50 of those seeds. Why is it taking so long? You're just uncrafting. Why would it take so long? Oh, you're making these. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. I also will make some draconium seeds. I think we can make 100. We cannot make 100. We can make 96. Or I can just melt these. And 100 draconium seeds. Well, I have finished the farms. This is the Flux Electrum and the other one is for draconium. 100 was not even enough. So, we have a small issue and that is I'm using these growth crystals from Tiny Progressions and it's not fast enough. Well, to be honest with you, it's not even fast because this has been going on for like 10 minutes and we only have 6. Oh god, I have to trash these? Ha, nice. Anyway, one more filter to set. I have to find a way to make these things grow very fast. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but there should be ways. I know that we have Botania, so from Botania I can use an Agri Coronation, but I don't have mana. Actually, Addition's greenhouse glass will not work because we're in a cave. Astral Sorcery is the same problem because I don't have access to the sun and I don't want to get into that right now. I don't know. Let me find something out. There was a ring in Project E which would allow you to grow crops very fast and sadly that has been disabled. So we're back to the drawing board and I have to make these growth crystals tier 3. I have to make the potion of swiftness 2 for the tier 3 and normal swiftness for the tier 2. I'll be back. So the brew stand system didn't work. Apparently there is a recipe conflict and it gives me a potion of fizzy lifting from extra utilities too. I switched to these imbuers from thermal expansion and now we're getting all the potions that we're going to need. The problem is I have to do this manually and I'm going to need a lot of these tier 3. So this could take some time and it's so much fun. You have to do this every single time. Well, this is definitely faster, but it's not significantly faster. This is not enough. So far, I think we have 18 or 19 blocks and we need 25,000. So this needs to go much faster than this. I have an idea which is using these growth accelerators from Mystical Agriculture. You can stack them beneath the dirt and the more you stack them, these plants will grow faster. I know also my farmer is not the best, but I don't want it bigger. So if I make 2000 of those growth accelerators, maybe it should work faster a little bit. 2000 might sound a lot, but it's actually not, because this is 11 by 11 minus that 9 blocks. So it's 121 minus 9, it's 113. So 2000 will be less than 20 levels. It's nothing. That's the only choice I have. I don't have any other choice. If that doesn't work, then I have to use RF tools. Just as an FYI note, there is no such dimlet as Flux Electrum, so we cannot make a world made out of these blocks. The idea that I had was to make a world out of destabilized redstone, because this is the thing which takes the longest to prepare. Magma crucibles are not very fast, but fluid transposers, in order to infuse the electrum, are very fast. If this doesn't work, we go with that, but I have to try this first. So I made a thing from RF tools, I forgot the name of that thing, the builder, and I'm hoping if nothing goes wrong, it should mine exactly the blocks that I want. Why are you doing it like that? Because this is one chunk, that's another chunk, and when it finishes this one, it will go to the next one. And we need more power. Well, this is the result with 3000 growth accelerators. It's not bad, but the problem is that we get one block every 12 seconds. That's 5 blocks per minute and 300 blocks per hour. We need 25,000 blocks, and I cannot spend 75 hours like AFKing here until we get all the blocks. So I'm willing to go deeper, and the idea is that I'm going to make 2000 more growth accelerators, because I want the farmer to just pick up essence. So by the time it reaches the end, the first ones should already be grown. It's not happening right now, so that's the idea. Also, I provided this with a supremium hole because I cannot make a Tinker's Tool ones, that takes a lot of time. A supremium hole works perfectly. You cannot make it from dark matter or red matter or whatever. This is the only one this one accepts, and it has infinite durability. Well, stupidity does not have a limit, and I am apparently one of the most stupid people on Earth. So, these plants were not growing because there was not enough light. That was the issue, not that we didn't have enough growth accelerators. Of course, it was not a total waste of resources, because now it's super fast, so it's not that bad. We're getting 12 blocks per minute, and I'm guessing that's good. It's 2.5 times the speed that we had, so I'm happy with this. This is the rate that I can live with. We have already 317 blocks. That's good. I'm happy. This tiny piece of grass was turning into a zoo, so I got a sheep, a cow, and a chicken. This is called energetic wool, which has 987 RF. Will it shock me? Oh, okay, it does. Oh, this is cool. What's the use of this? I also thought that it's a good time to make the neutronium compressor so that we can make the infinity catalyst using these singularities. This time I looked, and this one has an EMC, so I'm just making one, and we just copy this. That should be more than enough. I'm not going to make them all at the same time, because we only need 13, well actually 12, because this one is separate. We have to do it, we're having that farm for it, so we're not making this. We only need 12 because the catalyst itself has an EMC, so I can do them manually, 1 by 1 or 2 by 2. That should be okay. I'll set them up. Okay, so I put 3 ender chests filled with emeralds, they go into an energy condenser, and finally they go into a neutronium compressor, and I'm just using ender IO conduits and speed upgrades. I'm not using translocators because they are buggy and they might crash the game. And besides, we only need one singularity, and this is keeping up. As long as this is not being consumed, means that the neutronium compressor is running at maximum speed. So we're making iron, gold and lapis. That's good. I think it will take 15 minutes for each singularity, so this is not going to be a problem. Yeah, we already have 1500. That is good. Also guys, I think it's time to wrap up the episode. So we at least managed to start with making the singularities, and I don't think the end game will be that far. We just have to wait for this, and I have to do a few other stuff like botania and environmental tech so that we can finish the pack. Otherwise there's not much to do. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.